use React Router. And let's start very simple. We'll just make a route, and we'll make a link to that route. So to make that happen, we need to import some stuff. So we'll import route, because we need to make a route. We'll go ahead and import switch, and we'll import NavLink from React Router DOM. We know what the route component does. It defines a route. We know what switch does. It switches between multiple routes, like a switch statement or a case statement. And NavLink is just like link, except that it also adds an active class for any links that point to the page you're already on. All right, so inside app.js, inside my JSX, after my div with the header in it, I'm going to add some navigation. I'm going to put it inside a UL. I'm going to give that UL a class name of NavLinks. And I'm going to have one LI in there. That LI is going to contain a NavLink. And it'll say GitHub API. That's what we'll link to. Syntax for NavLink is the same as the syntax for link. You just say to, and then the path you're linking to. So let's go to /GitHub, which is a route that we haven't yet defined. So after our UL, I'm going to put a React Router switch. So the switch component works just like a switch statement or a case statement. It's like a great big if-else.
Do you have to use double quotes or can you use single quotes?
What, on props? Yeah. You can use either one. I usually use double quotes because it looks more like HTML attributes. Most people use double quotes in HTML attributes. There is no difference. But if I were putting a JavaScript expression in there that contained a string, I would probably use single quotes inside it, but then you would have to use curly braces anyway. So let's make a switch. Question? All right, let's make a route. And route is a self-closing tag. It's an empty element. And we'll make this the route for the path/GitHub since we have a link to it. And it could point to a particular component, or it could just point to a render function. Let's just point to a render function right now. So we'll just put an H1 there. It says GitHub. So that's if we match that particular route. But then we need a default for if we don't. So if that's the case, we'll render a paragraph. It says to get started, click one of the links above. That's a little long. It's all really just a very simple one-line JSX thing, but since my inner component was a little long, I put it on multiple lines. So you see what's happening here? I have two routes. One for if the path matches /GitHub, and one for if it doesn't. I don't specify a path on this one. If I match the path GitHub, I'll render this. If I don't match that, I'll render this paragraph. And then I have a link that takes me to /GitHub. So let's have a look. Here I have GitHub API, and what do I see? I see to get started, click one of the links above. Because we matched, or rather we didn't match this one, so we matched the default case. So we render that paragraph. If you hover over this, see in the lower left corner there, you probably can't read it, localhost 3000 /GitHub, right? It's just a link, really. If we inspect it, on the page it is just ahref /GitHub. But it was put there by NavLink. So let's click on this. The URL changed to /GitHub, and now I see GitHub in huge letters. Because now we actually match this route, right? So we render that H1 instead. And notice my inspect sheet here. Not that, this. There you go. Now ahref /GitHub class equals active because I use NavLink and I am now on the GitHub route. I get class equals active on a link to it. So when we have multiple links in here, we can tell which one we're on. Does that make sense with me so far in routing? Add route and NavLink for GitHub.